The hardest part is why we exist. Children have been victims of crime they should never have to be victims of crime of. The hardest part is knowing that this is happening every single day. The hardest part is knowing that I myself have children still under the age of 18, and they are no more safe than another child under the age of 18 here in Kent County, here in Michigan, or in the US, or in the world. Hearing about crimes that are happening the same age of my children, and then having to go home, and when my child says, "Can I go on a sleepover? Or can I go to this pool party?" If I didn't know all that I know, would my answer be different? And you kind of become envious of not knowing, but then you're also empowered because I do know. I want to believe that I can continue to keep my kids safe and that we can continue to keep the rest of the kids in our community safe. That's the hardest part.
Well, I came down to the center for a tour. I think it was last year. And I went through it and I just kept getting more and more amazed. And of course, some memories of an experience that I had years ago came back. It was 1972. I was 10 years old. My buddy and I went to the museum with his mom. And we were running around like 10-year-olds do, and we wanted to leave on our own. And we begged his mom if we could do so. And she reluctantly let us run around by ourselves. So we were running around the museum looking at things. We had to go to the bathroom. We walked into the bathroom and there's nobody in there. And I went over to the mirror. I heard the door open behind me and I turned and looked and there was an older man standing there. He gave me the creeps. And so my buddy got done. And as he got done and was walking towards me, I met him as I entered the stall. I told him, "Don't leave me." So I went to the stall. I went to the bathroom and I kept looking over my shoulder. And my buddy got a weird look on his face. And he took off out the door. And I felt totally alone. I finished going to the bathroom. I turned around. The man was standing right behind me. And he blocked me in the stall. His pants were down. And he wanted me to do things to him. And then after we got out there, we went to the police. And I had to go down to the police station with my mother, get questioned and interviewed. I went through mug books and I actually picked him out. Then it was just a series of talks with the prosecutor, and going down to the courthouse and having to testify. It was just kind of mechanical. And after 52 years, I went to the center and took a look around and seen all the programs they provided, and the people are so gentle and kind. And not only did I feel what it might have helped me back then, I just wonder how it would have helped my mother. Because I have no idea to this day what she went through.
My daughter was a victim of an internet crime. So I was mad. I was a bad mom. I was so mad at her because she knew better. She knew better. And then I came to realize she didn't know better. She was 15 years old and she was a victim. It's embarrassing. I mean, it's an embarrassing feeling. It's nothing you ever want to fear for yourself or your child. Again, when you're a parent and your child is a victim, it's very scary. You don't know what to do, how to feel, what to expect, how to help your child when you are scared and angry. So hard. I learned a lot about keyboard courage during that time. There were a few news stories that were published about it, and people are ruthless in comments, a lot of blame. As a parent, I even went as far as to create a fake profile to bite back a little bit. It definitely is a very humbling thing.
I was the coach for the Girls on the Run, and my daughter was participating. One of the lessons that came up was a little bit about like boys and dating, and we were driving home from the practice. And jokingly, I said, "Do you have any crushes on anyone? Do you like anyone?" And she's like, "Well, actually," and she proceeded to tell me that our neighbor, a teenage boy, had touched her inappropriately multiple times. And I was completely shocked. The family next door was like a family to us. We were close friends. It kind of was like the bottom dropped out of my world at that moment. I actually sent her inside and I sat in the car for a few minutes and just tried to like process what she was sharing with me. But she was sharing enough details with me that I was like, she's not making this up. Like, I knew right away that this was true. And then I called the police. We filed charges and proceeded to move forward. And at that time, the police recommended that we get connected to the CAC.
There are terrible things happening in our community to kids under the age of 18. We see those cases. They come through our doors. Our center is the only center in the state of Michigan that has a completely co-located on-site multidisciplinary team. And we should celebrate that as Kent County, as Michigan. That looks like a team of professionals who show up every single day to investigate the most horrendous acts that have occurred to children. And then they're all here and poised very specifically to provide the services that are needed for hope and healing, and how to reclaim the childhood that was taken from them, but also that could have still been taken from them had they not sought out the center. And those children will leave here without having to pay for a single service that they receive.
Honestly, I could not have made it through that situation without the center. It's very scary. You don't know what to do, how to feel, what to expect, how to help your child when you are scared and angry. And the center really helped her with therapy and helped us understand, again, that we are not alone, that we would be okay.
I think what really stood out about our time with the CAC was how much we became part of the family. I was so impressed at the level of training that the counselors received. I mean, we're talking like master degreed, amazing people that were free for us to utilize no matter what was going on in our life. It was so great to have a place where we could be honest and own the experience, and we knew that the people here understood what we were going through.
So when a child and family first come to the center, they're going to be greeted by our extremely friendly staff and even more eager and friendly facility dog named Bacon. He is the most happy-go-lucky golden retriever. His role is to make children and adults just feel more comfortable and bring smiles to our faces. Our lobby is very intentionally set up in the way that it's child-centered, trauma-informed, and it's really equipped to make children and families feel very comfortable. We have 3 forensic interview rooms with 3 full-time forensic interviewers. While the child is being interviewed by our on-site forensic interviewer, law enforcement and or CPS will be observing that interview at the same time. And so when there's been a disclosure of abuse, that's when further conversation happens about what the needs are for the child, such as therapy, advocacy if it's needed. So medical exams are offered here on site. We partner with the YWCA, and their sexual assault nurse examiners provide those forensic medical exams. Oftentimes children are unsure and they feel like they are damaged in a way that is unrecoverable, and that's just not the case. And so it's really important that they have the opportunity to engage with a medical professional to hear that message. All of our therapy here at the center is evidence-based therapy, and these therapies are really intended specifically for trauma that's related to child sexual abuse. Really, the gold star standard of treatment is TFCBT, which is trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. Another is EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. Not only we're walking them through what the court process would look like, what does a trial look like, for example, who's in the room? And we have a little model that we can show them kind of who's sitting where. It's really important for kids to know, let's say where their perpetrator is going to be in the room, so they know where to look, where not to look, where's their supports going to be. What we have unique to our center is a mock courtroom. It's more of the sensory experience. We have a galley bench so that the child can sit and feel just how hard that galley bench is. We have a live mic so they can actually practice how close do they have to get to that microphone. Trying on the judge's robe, we want them to know that it's just a person underneath that robe. And so we prepare them as much as possible for everything that they might encounter. One of the things that many donors do is make bracelets. Many clients choose a bracelet to take with them to court. The messages on them anywhere from "you are strong," "you are brave," during their testimony, just to remind them they can do this. They are brave. They are strong. Our detectives and CPS staff, the emotional toll that it takes on them, it's a lot. No one goes into this job saying, I only want to work on investigations involving child sexual abuse. That is not the direct field that you ever want to just stick with. Many of our detectives have children. It's hard work. I've had many different career paths that have all very much overlapped, from military and law enforcement, being a therapist and a nonprofit leader, my legal advocacy career. It wasn't until just a little over a few years ago that I disclosed myself that I was a survivor. We watched these children walk into these doors and be brave and tell their story. I had to tell my own story. Seeing the kids in that first year of me being here at the center was really what created the bravery in me and saying, I need to show up. It's really important to know that we're here because so many people just don't. There is a place right here in Kent County, right here in Grand Rapids, and schools, all of the schools right here working together to keep kids safe.
I really encourage people to use this center. I think it'll help big time because I'm sure wish they would have had it back then.
It's amazing. I mean, it's literally life-changing. We would not have made it through the other side the way that we did without the support from the CAC.
Like, it's a very special group of people that care enough to continue this work. And it's hard work, but they do it.
One of our detectives says it best, and he says, it's really sad that we have to exist, but so glad that we exist. Child sexual abuse is a community-wide problem. And we need a community-wide response. Supporting the center ensures that we will continue to address these instances of abuse, but we will also make every effort and do everything possible to prevent abuse from even occurring. So that's why it's important to support the center.